Yes, us. Welcome to the Kefi Life Podcast. My name is Kiki Vale, and I'll be your guide to creating a life of Ola Kala, all is well. Together, we'll get back to the basics, and we'll explore fresh new ways to flourish in mind, body, and soul the Greek way. You can look forward to interviews, stories, essential self-care strategies, recipes, and actionable takeaway Ola Kala moments. This is going to be so much fun. Let's get going. Πάμε! Our Lexi for today is Elpida, Elpida or hope. There are two things in life I feel one should never lose or let get away. Those are heart and hope. Heart and hope, in Greek, kardia και ελπίδα, are the cornerstone to forging on in all dark moments. Keep the why in your heart to guide your motivation to keep going. And as for Elpida, Winston Churchill believed and said, the future is unknowable, but the past should give us hope. Elpida, yours to behold. Eleolado, olive oil, has been celebrated in the civilized world for millennia. Nearly eternal, the oil of this fruit has been more than just food to the cultures of the Mediterranean region. It's been medicinal, ceremonial, sacramental, and the foundation of great wealth and power. It is safe to say that olive oil is the ethos, the essence of Greek culinary culture. Today, the priceless and life-giving ingredients of this liquid gold can be delivered to you when you purchase your premium bottle of Kefi Life extra virgin olive oil from the region my parents were born, the Peloponnese. The coveted Koroneiki olive is extensively cultivated here in the southern part of Greece, which offers the unique microclimate needed to grow a fruit netting the utmost nutrient value for extra virgin olive oil. Kefi Life extra virgin olive oil, a boundless amount of value, high in antioxidants with anti-inflammatory properties, linked to good mood and improved mental health. Get your bottle of wellness today when you visit kefilife.shop. Greetings, my dear friends in Kefi. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Kefi Life number 156, Hammer Down Cancer, Hope on the Horizon. I had the distinct honor to learn, mingle, and feel even more alive than I do on a daily basis when I recently attended the Purdue for Life weekend featuring the President's Council back-to-class sessions. It was an eye-opener and truly quite refreshing. I want to thank my husband, Brian, for allowing me to be his guest and to be uplifted by brilliant yet humble and down-to-earth deans of the university, together with one exceptional couple involved with the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research. Today, I will share the story of suffering, rallying, family, research, and yes, of course, faith. You'll hear from Dr. Andrew Mesecar, Department Head, Department of Biochemistry Director, Purdue Center for Cancer Research, and Kelly and Tony Trent, parents of the Purdue Boilermaker and peds cancer patient, Tyler Trent. Tyler Trent, in case you don't know the name, is the former Purdue student who inspired countless of sports fans with his gratitude and his grace. Now, unfortunately, he did pass away from a rare form of bone cancer in 2019, and he was only 20 years old. According to ESPN, Trent first earned the admiration of the Boilermakers football team when he camped outside the stadium in the fall of 2017 prior to the team's Big Ten home opener against number 8 Michigan. There was so much excitement happening. So many people wanted to take pictures with the coach. And as a matter of fact, Tyler did get to pose for a picture with head coach at that time, Jeff Brom, the morning of the game. Now, Trent did not initially tell Brom that he had spent the previous afternoon at a chemotherapy session to treat his osteosarcoma. That day proved to be spontaneous, a spontaneous, important day in history, which propelled hope, encouragement, and a new trajectory for pediatric cancer research at Indiana's premier university, where the best investigative minds in the world gather in one place, taking giant leaps for all mankind. It was just a beautiful force that day. Dr. Andrew Mesecar is the director of the Cancer Institute at Purdue, with plenty of scientific medical research in enzymes and molecules and all that smart stuff that are being looked at to find solutions to beat cancer. Now, during the back-to-class weekend that I attended, Dr. Andy spoke to us about the latest in cancer research with specifics at Purdue. So let's ask Dr. Andy some questions. Dr. Andy, How do you explain in simple terms what's going on in the lab and at the Cancer Institute?
So our primary mission is to use our basic science power at Purdue University to develop new diagnostics and early treatment and detection, as well as to develop novel therapeutics that can be basically as companions with those diagnostics to treat cancers of a lot of different types as one of our primary missions.
I'm wondering how many types of cancer there are and what's the cause.
I wish I could tell you how many different types of cancers there are. There is a large number of them. Take breast cancer, for example. There's over a dozen different types of breast cancer. And each one of those even has their own peculiarities depending on the patient. And one of the things we try to do is understand those differences in each patient. And we use the genetics of the cancer on some of the developments that we have at Purdue in order to understand, so that if we better understand that specific cancer of an individual, then we can actually develop or choose a treatment option that would be best for them.
Other special guests at the President's Council weekend were Tyler Trent's parents, Kelly and Tony. Tony, give us an inside look at what was going on the day that the Purdue football team was taking on Ohio State. How did Tyler inspire the fight to beat cancer that day?
It was unlike any day that I can ever remember, and hopefully I never have another day like that. But it definitely gives us hope and fight for us to be able to continue Tyler's mission of hopefully eradicating childhood cancer. And it'll be a day that I'll never forget. And it was definitely a special day for sure.
So football played a big role in bringing awareness to cancer.
Well, I would say that it backs up to being a sports fan. Tyler was always a sports fan. And you have to remember, Purdue football hasn't always been what it is right now. And so Tyler him and his friend, Josh, would lined up to be a part of a football game. And I tell people, I think it was Purdue football needed a Tyler Trent, and Tyler needed Purdue football. And it was just one of those days where he had lined up, and I'm drawing a blank on the gentleman from the General and Courier that found out about Tyler, Mike. Anyway, and caught word that he saw these two kids like camping out outside the stadium. And it was like, what in the world was he doing? And he went up and talked to them and learned that Tyler had just gotten a chemotherapy treatment that day.
Tony, who can help with cancer?
It takes all of us to fight this awful disease. And as Andy mentioned earlier, it is, there's so many forms of cancer, so many variations of cancer. And unfortunately, it's unique, even in a sense that you could have a form of cancer, but in the body, it could develop and change and mutate to something completely different. And so it's a tough disease to beat, and it takes us all to fight this battle for sure.
How does one person, Tyler Trent, change the trajectory of cancer research at a prominent institute?
So first off, with the Trents, and I look back, the world needs Tyler Trent. He, everybody goes inspiration, but the awareness that he's brought to pediatric cancers is absolutely needed. And for the time that we were with Tyler and I got to meet him, he was our first student board member. And going through all of the things that he did, the only thing that we could do is to develop a center in his name that basically embodies all of the hard fought battles that his parents, his family went through. But to make sure that everybody remembers it from this point over. We've been 45 years now as an institute. We changed an institute so we could I did this as a bit of a team, but I wanted this as one of the visions I had so that we can actually have these centers to bring focused attention and resources to a lot of the unmet areas in cancer research so that Purdue can put its power, its mind power behind it to get it done. This is an underfunded area. Nationally, internationally, it's an overlooked thing, even by the National Cancer Institute. We've heard that they won't even fund. St. Jude's has been funded. NCI is really not in the position to fund just a pediatric cancer. So we have to do our part. In the state of Indiana, there's a lot of efforts now going on for pediatric cancers. One of the things that I want to do is keep putting the pressure. We're getting together for the IU Simon Cancer Research Center, Indiana Biomedical or Biosciences Research Institute, Riley, now Notre Dame, to basically leverage all the resources that we have in the state and work together. Why not make Indiana the best pediatric cancer state in the United States?
And furthermore, making Purdue the place that helps with creating pediatric cancer treatments which don't come with the debilitating side effects. Andy with more.
And this is what Tyler went through. Okay, because when I use the analogy of carpet bombing and mustard gas therapies that were developed and for decades, when you don't get the attention, you don't get the novel targeted therapeutics. We have the mind power to do this. We have the examples that are there. Okay, it's in front of us. I gave you the examples in the talk. But why aren't they applying to pediatric cancers? This is the idea. This is the mission. This is the vision.
Here's a mother's point of view.
Seeing the side effects that happen, we like to tell people, like, we not only dealt with a child who had cancer, but we dealt with a handicapped child, because part of the chemo and the tumor and everything took away really ultimately his ability to move and to walk and to function in that manner. So that's, as a parent, it's heartbreaking. I mean, all of it. There really aren't words. I mean, it's surreal. There just aren't words for it. It's hard to explain. And, but yeah, Purdue has been absolutely amazing. They have gone above, not only Purdue, but the Cancer Institute have gone above and beyond to not only help Tyler, but to honor him and keep his story alive.
The Upset is a book written by Tyler Trent, which illustrates his enduring impact on all of us and shows us how life can change in a blink and with a plan we didn't necessarily have. Get the book on Amazon or visit tylertrentbook.com. That's tylertrentbook.com.
It was his dream to write a book about his experiences, about what he went through, hopefully to impact people to get involved and to educate the need for research, and then just to share his life experiences about what he went through. And so we put that together. He got to see the cover before he passed, and it has a lot of his quotes in there and just about his whole journey. I will say that it's a hard book to read, but you can go and buy it at tylertrentbook.com if you feel inclined to do so, or to go buy it on Amazon. It's called The Upset, and it's actually won like 4 awards, believe it or not. It was won like college sports book of the best college sports book of all time. There's several awards. I don't remember them all, but they're actually on Amazon, and you can learn more about those if you so inclined. And just one more thing that I want to add to this interview, a quote from Tyler that I think is so important. And I think it just captures who he was as a person and his spirit about this. And he said that not everybody can do cancer research. And I think what he meant by that is not everybody has the intellect to do cancer research, but everybody has the ability to give. And I think that is so important as you listen to this podcast and listen to Andy's voice and listen to the parents of someone who has lost a child and has gone through horrific things. And Kelly and I often say that my son had cancer, but our whole family got cancer, because it is so hard to deal with and so hard to see your baby basically going through surgery, going through chemotherapy that they describe as worse than rat poison. And one of them, it was nicknamed the Red Dragon because it was so bad. And just to think about, hey, how can I get involved? Because you may not be affected by cancer right now, but the odds, as Andy mentioned, you're going to be. And, the odds of you hearing this podcast and knowing someone has gone through cancer or even a family member is really, really high. And so it's going to take us all to basically fight this battle. And so, like I said, you may not have the ability to do cancer research, but you do have the ability to give.
Tyler's legacy and this testimonial is truly profound. Purdue University ensured that the memory of the former graduate and devoted Boilermaker football fan will live on through research to cure his disease and other pediatric cancers with the establishment of Purdue's Tyler Trent Pediatric Cancer Research Center within the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research. So awesome, so incredible. Dr. Andy, what can we expect with the research?
I'm hoping that we can find new treatment options for our children that are going through this nasty cancer and osteosarcoma, other sarcomas, and that Purdue University and our Institute for Cancer Research will have in some way affected the future of novel therapies.
Positive vibes for a collaboration of great minds taking great leaps in pursuit of a cure. Let's go. In closing, I ask all my special guests to answer the question, in my life, I've learned that. Let's start with Tony Trent.
In my life, I've learned that to hold life loosely, because you never know what it's going to happen to you. And we think that we have our life planned out. But God has control of what that looks like. And sometimes we don't like what that looks like, but I have to continue in my faith that someday God will make it all right.
Mama Kelly, in my life, I've learned that.
I've been telling myself through this whole journey, like palms up. Like hold it loosely, palms up, because I'm not in control. And it sounds so cliche because a lot of people say that, but it's the truth. I've lived the truth in that there's only so much I can do. And that, I have to believe that understanding is not for this side of heaven for me. Like I have to surrender that understanding to be able to continue to walk forward and to live and to thrive and be okay with that. So I have to hold all that loosely. And, again, it's so cliche, but don't sweat the small stuff. I mean, you really do get a perspective of what's important and what's not.
Last but not least, Dr. Andrew Mesecar.
I've learned that we can all make a contribution to whatever we want to do. And as Tony nicely put it, you know how to give, but we need all sorts of backgrounds, talents of all individuals to bring the awareness of what cancer does, and that you can contribute to the solutions.
A heartfelt thank you goes out to my guests for taking time out of the back-to-class weekend to speak with us and to inform us on how to make a difference and hammer down cancer. For more information, visit purdue.edu Cancer Research, and of course, pick up your copy of The Upset today. Stay right there. Up next, your weekly takeaway to keep it all as well. Hola Kala.
This Hola Kala moment brought to you by the law offices of Liston and Centillus. Ranked number 1 by the leading lawyers network since 2010, taking care of all your real estate needs.
Ever hear the expression, teamwork makes the dream work? I'm sure you have. There's merit in this because many hands are better than one. And furthermore, a oneness of mind can work miracles within an organization or a group. If we as a community join hands and do our individual part, whether intellectually, monetarily, spiritually, or physically, the goal we collectively set will be achieved. Hola Kala, all is well when we work together for the common goal.
Kiki Vale is the founder of Kefi Life. She is passionate about whole person wellness and living a fulfilled life. Her Kefi Life podcast is created to simply and naturally help you harmonize the mind, body, and soul the Greek way. Visit KefiLife.com and check out Kiki Vale on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Join us again next time for more positive energy and inspiration on Kefi Life.